All right. Hello, Melissa, the insurance exam queen here. And we are going to have a class tonight on contract law, which has helped you for any state in any exam. All of them have contract law on the exam. And contract law, that's because insurance is a contract. And you, as an insurance agent, are selling insurance contracts. And so every insurance policy is a contract. And they want to make sure that you know all you can know about contracts, make sure that you understand agreement, consideration, competent parties, legal purpose is one of the highly tested topics. So we're going to be covering that today. And I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek at some new curriculum that we're creating. I'm super excited about this. And you guys will see what we've been doing behind the scenes. And I'm super stoked to share this with you. I am hot on this waiting room because people are coming in. So I'm going to make sure that I can let people in. And I also want to check out the chat box. Since you guys have me here, it's a perfect time to be asking questions as well. So don't hesitate to ask questions. Let me know what you guys need help with. Yes. So, all right. So hello, Arizona Property and Casualty. I have passed the Arizona P&C exam myself. We've got Florida Property Casualty in the house, Property Casualty Oklahoma, General Lines Florida, P&C Florida. So ready for this. Tonight was supposed to be the second attempt after technical issues last time. Today also wouldn't load, but I think that's because I was meant to hang out with you. Yes, all things work out for good. Yes, everything works in my favor. This is a motto that I live by. This is the theme of my life, is that everything works in my favor. Everything works in my favor. So even when I'm in the most difficult moments, I am constantly saying, this is all working out for me, all working out for me, all working out for me. Like, even when something difficult or awful seems to happen, somehow this is working out for me. Somehow I will understand someday how this was good for me. And I just always live by that. And it alleviates a lot of anxiety and worry and overwhelm from my life when I just trust everything is working out for me, everything is working out for me, everything is working out for me. I just go with that. And it really helps me feel better about life. And whether it's true or not, like, it still helps me feel better and removes stress and overwhelm. So why not make that the theme, So trust that there is always a reason. So, like, if you're taking the test and there's technical issues and it fails, like, take it as a positive thing. Like, so there must have been a reason, and I'm going to trust that this is giving me more time to study, more time to lock something in. Like, it'll be a better day when I take the exam. Trust that everything is always working in your favor, no matter if it's exam related or not. Like, even when I miss my flight, or I get a flat tire, or something happens, or I get sick, I'm like, somehow, some way, this is working in my favor. I may not understand it now, but somehow, some way, this is working out for me. Somehow, some way, this is for my best. And I just trust that. And life is really, really good when that's your belief system. All right. Austin, PNC, South Dakota, PNC. We got a lot of PNC. A lot of you were PNC because this class was advertised to you as a property and casualty class. When I found out that I was going to be teaching, I'm like, I'm inviting everybody to this class. Texas, we got a lot of Texas people in here, Florida people in here, Alabama, Arizona, Utah, New Hampshire, not New Hampshire, Nebraska. Tomorrow is your first attempt. Danielle, I am sending you all the love. I think you were on the YouTube live as well. Rosie, Florida, property and casualty. Wow, lots of property casualty up in here. First attempt and last, because I'm going to pass yes, you're going to pass your first time, Stacy. I love it. And you have a rhinestone pink hat that I love if you're the same person on Facebook. Or no, you didn't buy the hat. You tried the hat on, but you didn't buy the hat. Let's see. Property casualty, Florida, taking my exam, life and health, Kentucky tomorrow. Kentucky is a tough one. Kentucky is a little bit tough. Their breakdown for the exam is so, like, every chapter is only worth like 3 points, and it can be a little bit tough to pass Kentucky. So if you're in Kentucky, I'm sending you all the loves. All right. Thanks, Melissa. Second live class. I love your program. Mississippi, Ohio. I taught in Ohio and Mississippi the most. Those are probably the two states I was in all the time. I swear I lived in Ohio one summer. I was just there every other week teaching classes. New York, Florida, Washington, Washington Life and Health passed my PNC last week after trying twice and using the gold package. Yes. So Shane used the gold class series package to pass the exam. Perfect. Ohio, Rhode Island, Wisconsin. So excited to be in this live class with you, Melissa, taking my second attempt for California this Friday, still studying. You've got this. Raphael, tomorrow I'll be taking my exam. Oh, I'm here for you. All the loves and all the vibes to pass your exam. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can keep up with these comments. I need to pass my first try so I can start making real money. I need to hear that everything will be working out. Yes. Even if you don't pass the first time, trust that everything is working out for you, that there is a reason it took you multiple times to be able to pull a pass. Just trust everything is working out for me. 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 Like that is my motto. I live by it all day, every day. Danielle, speak it into existence. Fear is an illusion. Yes. The universe is always on your side. All right, we got some adjusters. Okay, I'm going to scroll through these. Life and health. Perfect. Rhinestone hat is me. Yes. Thank you so much for helping me pass. Any tips on Wisconsin? I have one more. You said one more shit to take my exam. I don't know what word you meant, but you typed shit. All right. Okay. How much is contract law? For Nevada Life and Health, contract law makes it's part of the completing the app chapter, and usually that's around 10 to 15%, so it's a pretty decent chunk. I have how long? 1 hour tonight, probably. Depends on whenever they come home with the baby. I have a job contingent on passing. A lot of you are under pressure to pass because you have a job that you're waiting for with a pass of the exam. Trust that even if you fail and you lose that job, that there is a better job coming. Again, everything is working in your favor all the time. So if you lose a job opportunity, you were meant to lose that job opportunity. Whatever is meant for you cannot be taken from you. What is meant for me cannot be taken from me. So if you lose an opportunity, you didn't lose it. It's just a shift or a redirect to a better opportunity. Your first opportunity isn't always the best one. It was just the one to introduce you to the idea of insurance. Just like our first boyfriend wasn't always the best one. And we keep trying until we find a good one. Same with insurance jobs. Don't think it's one or done. If I don't get this opportunity, it's over forever. You didn't say that with a boyfriend. You kept going. So give insurance one more shot. Oh, you meant shot. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Shot over shit. Yes. Oh, I love it. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Lots of comments. There are 75 of you in this room. I think we got close to 200 registered people. So I know more people will be coming in. I got to make sure I pay attention to the room so that people can come in. I don't think I can turn off the waiting room, so that I have to pay attention to it. But let's go ahead and jump in and get started and talk about this. And I want to give you guys a sneak peek of the new curriculum that is coming out. Let me pull it up here, so you guys can see it. I'm super excited about that. I think I'm going to drop this video on YouTube as well. That way you guys can all get a little sneak peek. All right. Where are we at here? Dimensions for an alien. All right. I'm gonna go up here. I'm so excited. Okay. Here we go. Well, let me show you page 41. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to start in the middle of a presentation just a little bit so you guys can see like what we're doing here. And then we're going to talk about contract law. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so check this out. Look how amazing this is. Oh, and I gotta where's my waiting room? Let me make sure I can see the waiting room. Okay, perfect. All right, so this is in the middle of a presentation. So like I'm already on page 40 and we're building on like, so we basically took my videos and we turned them into graphics and animations that walk you through learning the, instead of my little sticky drawings, we've got some beautiful animations. So we're actually going to be turning and like it teaches you all the stuff and we're going to add my voice to it. So it teaches the information and I'm super excited. And this is really cool. So I just wanted to share with you like some of the stuff we've been working on and it guides you one step by one step and then like summarizes everything for you. Like this presentation started up here and it's like walked you through all the stuff. So I'm super, super stoked. Does this look exciting? What do you guys think? Does this look amazing? I'm so excited. Give me a 1 if you think it's amazing. Okay. All right. And let's get to the contract section. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited. So excited. Yeah, I'm definitely going to drop this video on YouTube so everyone can get super stoked and excited to see our amazing new content that we have been creating. We are so visual and like there's hardly any visuals in our state approved courses. So when we're taking Excel, Kaplan, 80 Banker, etc., it can be a struggle to understand everything. And I want to make sure you guys understand everything. We won't see the puppy throwing up anymore. If you guys have my gold class series videos, there was one video where I was teaching and I was in an Airbnb and the puppy started to throw up and I'm like, oh my God. And I grabbed a plate of my lunch that was left over and I tried to make sure I caught the vomit and I did. And that's forever on one of the videos. And you know, guys, I don't edit stuff. So, it's there forever. You just finished that video today. Yes. And that's some of the things too, is you guys have said that, the personal, me living my life and teaching these videos, that's what helps you guys learn this information, that it's not so strict and rigid all the time. So yeah, I'm glad that we can keep it amusing. David, if you guys know, so David, my husband, and my baby daddy, he was studying for the exam and met me on the YouTube channel and he met me. So I started the Insurance Exam Queen in January of 2022. He started texting me in like July. So I was still kind of like small at the time. And so I had more availability to talk to people one-on-one and we chit-chatted and we totally hit it off and now we're married with a baby. And so you guys get to, in some of the videos, you guys get to see him coming to give me a kiss while he went to go off and go hunting. But he said that watching my videos was sometimes hard because he would find it so adorable. He was like, you were so cute. You would do something stupid, laugh at yourself, and it was distracting. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to distract you, but hopefully it makes it fun and enjoyable. I mean, that's the goal. All right. But I did want to make some clean presentations, and that's what we got going on here. So we're going to go ahead and start with insurance contract, elements of a contract, and go through this kind of presentation. You guys can get a feel for like what this stuff looks like. I'm so super excited. Yes, it's so cute. And we officially met in person in August of 2022. And then we were pregnant by October. And we had our baby June. I mean, I love life every day with him. He gets on my nerves a little bit. He likes to annoy me on purpose, but we have good times. Okay, I have gold. When will this be available? We are in the process of making it. I don't have a date yet of when this will be published, but we are working hard behind the scenes to get this out and available for you guys. So I don't yet know the date, but it's coming and this is going to be exciting. Most of you, I would hope by the time, I mean, we're talking maybe a month or two, maybe a couple more months. I don't think this is going to be out like in the next few days or so, but it's coming. And maybe now that you guys saw it, we're going to be super psyched and try to get it out as quick as we can. Maybe we'll roll some of this out sooner, but we're trying. We're trying. All right. Congratulations on this. Awesome. And one of my husband is in this classroom. Yeah. Anybody single? Octavia, where you at? I love it. I would love to play dating games. Maybe we could do an insurance dating game. I love it. In fact, it's so crazy. Today was the day. So the reason that David was studying for his exam, because he was going to go work for a local office here who he has his insurance through. And I literally met her today. So we went into the office to get a quote for our new house that we're getting. And I was like, I have to thank you. Like, you were hiring him and you made him take the test, and that's how we met. And I'm sorry, like, he never ended up working for her because now he's with me. But I was like, I have to thank you for trying to hire him because you're the reason we met to begin with. And so it was actually really cool that happened. All right, are we going to go over auto? No, auto not today. This is contract law. So we will not be talking about auto insurance, not now, not in this live class. Okay. All right, so contract law. Stop distracting me with adorable stories about YouTube and falling in love and babies. Okay, so elements of a contract. So every contract, every insurance policy is a contract. So whether it's homeowners insurance, auto insurance, life insurance, health insurance, every single policy is a contract. And that means that you are in the business of selling contracts. So when you're selling a life insurance policy, you're selling a contract. So you, as an insurance agent, must be aware of what a legal contract is. Legal means it's by the law. It's okay. It's allowed. And you have to make sure you're following the rules of a legal contract since you are in the business of selling contract. So they are called the elements of a contract. And there are 4 elements, but the first one is known as agreement. So the first element of a legal contract is agreement. There must be agreement between the 2 parties. And parties are the people involved in a contract. So the people involved in an insurance contract would be the person buying the policy and the company selling the policy. So those would be the 2 parties. So we always use the word parties when we're talking about people signing a contract. So like, let's use a common example. Let's say we're trying to rent an apartment. The landlord would be a party and the new renter would be a party. Party just means the people involved in the story. Okay. Okay. So first there has to be agreement between the 2 parties. And agreement is known as offer and acceptance. You want to know this. Write this down. Agreement is known as offer and acceptance. Agreement is known as offer and acceptance. Agreement is known as offer and acceptance. It is very important that you memorize, every single one of you, the definition of agreement. Agreement is known as offer and acceptance. Agreement is known as offer and acceptance. Agreement is known as offer and acceptance. Say that to yourself multiple times until you lock that in. And many of you are going to hear my voice when you're taking the exam. You're going to hear me say, agreement is known as offer and acceptance. Agreement is known as offer and acceptance. You want to know this definition, okay? So what does that mean, though? What happens with the insurance is that when I'm ready to buy a policy, so let's say I'm the customer, I submit an application. That is actually the offer. Many of us get a little bit confused and we think that the insurance company is offering a policy to us, but that's not the case. The customer is offering their risks to the insurance company. So insurance is a transfer of risk. So I have the risk of crashing my car, burning my house down, getting sick, going to the doctor, breaking my arm. I have all kinds of risks. And insurance is my way of transferring those risks to the insurance company. So what the offer is I am offering my risks to the insurance company. So if I'm buying a car insurance policy, I am offering the risk of crashing my car getting stolen, my car getting in a flood, my car, whatever happens to my car, the risks associated to owning a vehicle, I am transferring them to the insurance company. So the part of agreement where agreement is known as offer and acceptance, the offer is, here are my risks. I want to transfer my risks to the insurance company. If we're talking about health insurance, One of you is unmuted. Hang on.
أهو.
Wait a second.
لو فتحت الشبابيك هتبقى حر.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. So I am offering my risks. If I'm talking about health insurance, I'm offering the risks of having a medical bill, of having a cancer diagnosis where I got to pay for treatments. I am giving those risks to the insurance company. So the offer is offering the risk, offering the transfer of the risk. So the offer is when the customer submits an application. When I fill out my application, I'm telling them all the things that are risky about me, risky about my situation, and what I want them to take over. So that's the offer. On the other side of that, if the insurance company looks at my application, they go, these are risks that we are willing to take, they will then issue the policy, and that's the acceptance. So offer is submitting the application. Acceptance is issuing the policy. So agreement is known as offer and acceptance. The offer is the customer submitting an application with all of their risks. And the acceptance is the insurer issuing the policy and saying, we will take those risks. So offer, here are all of my risks. Acceptance, we will take those risks and we will give you a policy that says we will take those risks. That's agreement. There's 4 elements of a legal contract. Agreement is one of them. So agreement is known as offer and acceptance. Offer is the customer submitting an application. Acceptance is the insurer accepting those risks by issuing a policy. Okay. All right. Terms to note. When I am filling out an offer, basically, when I am filling out the insurance application, I am either using representations or warranties when I fill out my application. So when I'm filling out the application, I'm putting my name, I'm putting my address. If it's a car insurance, I'm putting the details of my car. If it's homeowner's insurance, I'm putting the details of my home. If it is health insurance, I'm putting the details of my health history. If it's life insurance, I'm also putting my health history on there. So when I am filling out an insurance application, I am either using representations or warranties. A representation is a statement that is believed to be true, but not guaranteed to be true. This is a statement that I make that I think, to the best of my knowledge, I am telling the truth, but it may not be true. So what in the world may be an example about that is a question that says, do you have cancer? No, as far as I know. Is it possible that there is a tumor in my body that I am unaware about? Yes, it is possible that I have cancer and not know it, right? I did have cancer when I was 16 and I didn't know it. All I felt was like a bump on my neck. I'm like, what is this? This is weird. But even before I felt it, it was there before I felt it. It was there before I knew about it. So if I'm filling out an insurance application, it says, do you have cancer? To the best of my ability, to the best of my knowledge, no, I don't. But it's possible that I do, and I'm unaware about it. And that's what a representation is. The statement I am making, no, I do not have cancer, is true to the best of my knowledge. I don't have cancer. Okay. That's a representation. Now, if I make that statement on an application, no, I do not have cancer, they issue me a policy, and then a month later, I'm having to go get cancer treatments because we found out, we learned, the doctor, I actually had a small town doctor with no fingers, like the tops of his fingers were cut off, and he was like feeling around my neck. And he's like, I think you've got a nodule. Before that, so let's say that happened, and then like, oh no, now we got to test it. We got to check out what's going on. Now I'm going through all these treatments. If that is the case, I said, no, I don't have cancer. A week later, I go to the doctor. He's checking me out with his little nubs. You have a nodule. We have to get it tested. Oops, it is cancer. Now you got to go to surgery. The insurance company will cover the claim. They will pay for my appointments. They will pay for my treatment. And if it's life insurance, they will pay if I die because I didn't lie to them. I didn't mislead anybody. At the time when I filled out that application, to the best of my knowledge, I did not have cancer. To the best of my knowledge. But I ended up having cancer. Just didn't know about it. They will cover the claim. This is much different than if I did know and I lied to them. Like that would be a material misrepresentation. I intentionally lied to them. Or it could be concealment if I hid it from them. So what you want to remember though about representation is that it is a statement made by the applicant. Sometimes they will ask you that'll be the question. What is a statement made by the applicant? Representation. Statement made by the applicant. Representation. Sometimes they will say believed to be true, but not guaranteed to be true. That is also a representation. But sometimes they'll just say statement made by the applicant. What is a statement made by the applicant? Representation. People will confuse this with the next one, which is warranty. Oh, sorry. Misrepresentation is an untrue statement. Now, misrepresentation doesn't necessarily mean you lied. It could be I forgot, I didn't understand the question, or I misspoke. Those are all three possibilities. Misrepresentation does not automatically mean you lied. Okay? Because how many of us have forgot, misspoke, didn't understand the question? That's a real possibility. Okay? But a misrepresentation simply means it was an untrue statement. Okay? Now, a warranty, on the other hand, must be true. And it has to be true. It's guaranteed to be true. And if it's not true, then you're a big fat liar. But a warranty is where there's no, well, maybe I do have it hidden in my body somewhere. There's none of that. Because warranties are things like, what kind of car do you drive? There's no, well, I don't quite remember like what car, it's a blue one. No, we have a VIN. We know what kind of car it is. We know the year it was made. We know how many tires, like we know about the car. We know. So a warranty is a question where there is no potential wiggle room for it to be wrong. This is the car I drive. This is the VIN. We know this is the car. Where is your house? This is the address to my house. We know it's the house. Okay. So representations are generally used on life and health insurance. Warranties are used more for auto and home. Both of these are tested no matter what exam you're taking. So whether you're taking the life, health, property, casualty exam, they all ask about elements of a contract, and they all ask about representations, misrepresentations, warranties, etc. So where people will get confused is because both representation and warranties say that they're statements. So when the question says, what are statements made by the applicant? You go, well, is it true or not? That's what I ask when I see that question. I'm like, if I know it's true, I'm going to choose warranty. But if I don't know what to pick. This is how you know what to pick. If it doesn't say must be true, is true, or guaranteed to be true, you need to pick representations. So when it says, what is an absolutely true statement made by an applicant, then you would choose warranty. But if all it says is, what is a statement made by an applicant? It didn't talk about truth at all. If it does say believed to be true, representation. I think it's true, representation. Not guaranteed to be true, representation. So don't just think the word true. But like if it says must be true, is true, has to be true, then it's a warranty. But if all they say is statement made by the applicant, representation. Statement made by the applicant, representation. Must be true, is true, warranty. Okay, warranty must be true, is true, has to be true. All right. Oh, I went backwards. Sorry. All right. Another word coming off filling out an application is a concealment. Concealment is when you purposely hide information. You withhold or you hide. So this is where I know the truth, but I'm hiding it. I'm not telling them. I'm concealing. Women, we have like black bat. Well, all men have it too. They just don't care to cover it up. But concealer, we got a pimple. We want to cover it up. We conceal it. We try to hide the fact that we have a pimple. We try to hide the fact that we've got bags under our eyes because our kid was waking up all night long and we didn't get some sleep. I know what that feels like right now. So we conceal, we cover it up. We try to hide the fact. Oh, I got a pimple. I'm going to put concealer on it. I'm going to try to hide the fact that there's a pimple on my face. That's what concealment is. We're withholding or hiding. Withholding or hiding. So concealment is I'm not like this is what trips people up is they're like, well, that's fraud. Yes. Because you'll see fraud as a question on the exam and you'll see concealment as a question on the exam. You're like, but concealment is fraud. Concealment is a type of fraud. So fraud is any time that you're trying to lie or deceive the insurance company. Concealment is a specific type of deceiving. It's withholding or hiding. So for the answer to be concealment, you really got to see the word withholding or hiding. Withholding or hiding, not sharing, preventing them from finding out, that is concealment. Okay. And if you guys have any questions, all right, let me double check the chat box here. The question about filling out the app has been confusing on the practice exam. Octavia, if you remember what exact question, if you have more examples about the question, let me know. Cheryl H, could you give an example of a misrepresentation? Yes. And this is a question that I saw was like, a guy was filling out his life insurance application and it asked him about his health history. And he put that he had never stayed at a hospital or anything like that. But it came to find out that he had stayed at a hospital, but he forgot because at that time he was on a lot of drugs and that's why he was in the hospital. So he was a drug addict and he was on all kinds of drugs and his health history was not in his mind. So in his mind, like he's like, no, I never been to the hospital. But he literally is like blacked out from his memory and his existence because at that time he was on a bunch of drugs. So that's an example of a misrepresentation. He wasn't trying to lie. He wasn't trying to hide. He just misspoke. He forgot. He didn't remember that he was in and out of the hospital because at that time he was on a bunch of drugs. He had a history of going to rehab and stuff like this. So that is an example of a misrepresentation. Or a misrepresentation could just be like they asked a question with the word you're not familiar with. Like, have you been diagnosed with something? And you're like, my thyroid cancer was called papillary. And so maybe they say have you ever been diagnosed with, a thyroid disease? I might not put anything. I was like, no, I was diagnosed with cancer. Well, thyroid cancer would be a disease of your thyroid. But if I just didn't understand the question, that would be an example of a misrepresentation. So a misrepresentation is simply just an untrue statement. It's not true. Whatever I said was not true, but it doesn't mean I lied, right? So there could be a difference between I am lying, like I know that I'm lying, versus I don't remember, I don't understand, or I misspoke, I don't get the question, right? So there's times where it's like, I'm not trying to lie to you, but this is what I know right now. Okay. And again, any questions, put them in the chat box. All right, what do we got next? All right, yes. Now, fraud is anytime you're trying to deceive or cheat the insurance company. So fraud is lying, deceiving, cheating. Yes, concealment is a form of fraud, but concealment is specifically withholding or hiding. Okay, so those are all the terms to note for filling out an insurance application. You got representation, I believe a statement that I believe to be true. I think it's true to the best of my knowledge is true, but it might not be true. You have a misrepresentation, which is an untrue statement. Doesn't necessarily mean I lied, but it's not a true statement. Um, so like one example could be with a misrepresentation is if you were a kid and you went through some health treatments, but your parents never talked to you about it. Like you didn't know exactly what it was. You just, every once in a while you'd go to the hospital and then you get ice cream, but all you remember was the ice cream part and not the hospital part. Right. And so you might not put down there that you had something happen. And that's not an attempt at lying. You just didn't remember. And when they pull your records, they might find it. You go, "Oh, I didn't realize I underwent treatment for that." It's not on purpose. It's just as far as I know, I didn't know. Now material, some of you are asking about material misrepresentation. A material the thing you need to know about material misrepresentation is that it would have changed the insurance company's mind. So this is where they ask you a question and the answer to that question would be different. Like they would have given you a different policy. They would have given you a different coverage. They may not have covered you at all if they had known the truth of your statement. Okay. So, one of the examples that I use for this is like, well, I want to see if I can come up with another. I talk about Ed and Rose from 90 Day Fiance on this one. Like these were two people who met online. So they were not physically in person. And he told her that he was okay with having more children, which is what she wanted. And he told her he was like 5'7" or something. When she met him in person, he was much more like 5 foot, not 5'7". So he was way shorter than what he said. That didn't change her mind though. She's like, "I'm still going to date you even though you're much shorter than what you told me." When she found out that he didn't want any more children, that was a deal breaker for her. It changed her mind about dating him. So that's a difference between material misrepresentation versus just a misrepresentation. The misrepresentation is it's untrue, but it doesn't necessarily change my mind. Material is it changed my mind. So when you think about a material misrepresentation, thinking about a piece of material. Like let's say I'm going to make a dress or a skirt. If I cut the material, I can't ever go back. It's changing my mind. If I have a long skirt and I cut it so it's a mini skirt, that changes the skirt. It's completely different. A short skirt is way different than a long skirt. And it changes. So material is you're altering the material, you're altering the mind of the decision making. So a material misrepresentation is just if the insurance company had known this information, they would have changed the policy coverage, if they would have covered you at all, if they had known whatever this piece of information was. So like if they ask you your height, your weight, if you're a smoker, non-smoker, some insurance companies are more picky about these things. So if you give them the wrong information and it would have caused them to offer you different coverage or no coverage at all, that would be material to them. The big thing is that material misrepresentation is information that, if known, would have changed their mind, altered their mind, made a different decision. That's material. All right, next element of an insurance contract is consideration. So we have agreement, consideration, competent parties, legal purpose. Now we're getting into consideration. So with consideration, we talked about the parties. We have the insured versus the insurer, the company and the customer. So these are the two parties. Consideration says both parties must bring value to the other party. So this says that the customer, the insured, has to bring value to the insurer, and the insurer, the company, must bring value to the insured. Like, why would I sign a contract if I'm not getting anything out of it? No matter whether I'm the insured or the insurer, if I'm not receiving any value, why would I do it? So consideration says there must be an exchange of value. One party must bring value, the other party must bring value. They both must bring value to the other person, the other party. So the insured's got to bring a value, the insurer has got to bring a value. And we must pay attention to D versus R. Insured versus insurer. This one letter can throw you off from picking the correct question. Because if they ask you a question and it's like, I don't know an example question, but two sentences can be exactly the same, except for one letter, insured versus insurer, R versus D. And if you didn't pay attention to that one letter, because the entire sentence reads exactly the same, but one letter off, insured versus insurer, and you picked insured when you should have picked insurer, and now you got the question wrong. So always pay attention. And in fact, this is what I encourage you to do is when you see the word insured or insurer, emphasize the ending like I am. Insurer, insured, okay? Say it stupid and loud and crazy so that it triggers your mind to go, okay, if it's D, D is the customer. Insured is dependent upon the insurer to pay the claim. Right? If I have car insurance, I'm dependent upon the insurer to help me out. The insurer, ER, is who I go to in an emergency. I crashed my car. I have an emergency. I need you to fix it. So the insurer is the ER, insurer. They are the ER, the emergency, right? We say the ER room. You got to go to the emergency room, ER. The insurer is who we go to in an emergency. The insured, the customer is dependent upon the insurer. And this is how we remember the difference. All right, so back to consideration. Oh, I shouldn't be drinking while I'm teaching. Did you guys see that YouTube comment? This guy said, would you please stop drinking while you're recording? No, I need water, sir. Okay. All right. Consideration. Both parties must bring value to the other party. So both sides, you got to bring value to me. I got to bring value to you. We both bring value to the other side. On the side of the insured, the customer, the value that we bring is the application, which is all of our risks. That's the value we have our risks are valuable to the insurance company because we're willing to pay the insurance company to take them. So our risks have value. And that's what our application is. The other value that the customer insured, who's dependent upon the insurer, the insured's value is the premium that they're paying to take the risks. So, in consideration on the side of the insured is application plus premium. I got a sneeze coming in. I think it's going to go away because I talk you though. But oh, my nose is tickly right now. Okay. Oh, it went away. All right. Insured. Consideration on the side of the insured is application plus the premium. That could be a test question. What is consideration on the side of the insured? That could be a thing that tricks you. You literally can have both questions. What is consideration on the side of the insured? What is consideration on the side of the insurer? One letter off for that question. And if you don't pay attention, you could pick the wrong answer. It's insurer, but you read insured and you pick app plus premium when you should have picked promise to pay. You got it wrong. So you got to make sure you slow down, pay attention. So what is consideration on the side of the insured? Application plus premium. What is consideration on the side of the insurer? Promise to pay a claim. Promise to pay a claim. That is the value that the insurance company gives the customer, is the promise to pay a claim. We don't get anything from the insurance company unless we file a valid claim. We get nothing from them but peace of mind. Like I've had car insurance. I have not filed an auto claim for years. Like I've gotten nothing from them except a promise that if I crash, they will pay to fix it. Okay? So the value that we're getting from the insurance company is a promise to pay a claim. Octavia says definitely a practice question on Excel. Michelle says on exam FX2 and very likely the state exam as well. So what is consideration on the side of the insured application plus premium? What is consideration on the side of the insurer? Promise to pay a claim. Okay. Jeremy, look at your score sheet. If you're in South Carolina, I'm pretty sure they give you points. So like oh no, South Carolina just changed to Pearson. If you go to insuranceexamqueen.com and you click on PC and then click on recommendations and then scroll to South Carolina, I tell you the most important chapters. Okay. All right. So agreement, offer and acceptance. Offer is submitting the app. Acceptance is the insurer issuing the policy. Consideration, both parties must bring value to the other party. The consideration that the insured brings is app plus premium. The consideration that the insurer brings is promise to pay a claim. Next one, competent parties. Competent parties. So what this one says is that in order to sell an insurance policy to a person, they need to be of sound mind, which means they need to understand what they're doing. They need to be old enough of legal age, and they cannot be under the influence of drugs or alcohol. We need to put the word not there. Not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So, oh, there we go. We did it with thumbs up, thumbs down. So if you are of sound mind and of legal age, we can sell you a policy. If you are on drugs or drinking alcohol, we cannot sell you a policy. Okay. Now, felons sometimes trips people up, and I've seen this be a question that trips people up. Felons are okay. Oh, I went too far. Felon does not mean incompetent. So if you get a test question that says, who can purchase or who is a competent party? And one of them will be like a person who's at happy hour, a person on pain meds, or a 16-year-old, and then a felon. Some people will try to pick the 16-year-old because they're like, well, if you're 16, you might have a driver's license, you could drive. That doesn't mean you're of legal age to get into a contract. Felons would be the correct answer. As long as the felon knows what they're doing and is old enough and not under the influence of drugs and alcohol, they can purchase a policy. So simply being a felon doesn't knock you out of being a competent party, but they're thinking that you're going to think that. They're trying to trip you up there. Okay. Okay. All right. Next question. Okay, I got a question in the chat box. Stephanie, you have to take your proctored exam through who your state says. You can't just pick a different one. So if you schedule through Prometric is the only one you can take your test with. Some states use Pearson and some states use PSI. And some states like Kentucky has their own proctor, but you don't get to switch your proctor. So if you schedule through Prometric, you're only allowed to schedule through Prometric. If you're scheduled with PSI, you're only allowed to go to PSI. You don't get a chance to switch. Yeah, in person, I prefer going in person. That way, because like at home, if you have an online proctor, so because of COVID, they started allowing online proctors. So this is where someone's like on the computer watching you. If they think that you've done anything like scratching your nose and they think that you're like pointing to something and that someone's helping you cheat, they can kick you out of the exam. So you the online proctor makes it a gamble When you go in person, there's none of that issue. All right. Michelle, speaking of Prometric, has anyone heard of the site being down? It won't let me register. Yeah, that happens every once in a while. Reset your browser, try again. Stephanie, hopefully they let me. Can't believe they turn off my test because the cat. Yeah, they'll turn off your test for any reason. So that's why you got to be careful with the online proctors. Yeah, you got to be careful. Your cat, did your cat walk on the computer? Maybe it hit something. Cecilia, that may be a state thing. I've taken Prometric exams and I've been allowed to take a break. You're allowed to take a bathroom break. So
Lucky you.
yeah, you gotta, but I try to go to the bath. Like I got the anxiety poops, right? So like, I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, get it all out and then take my test. And I try to get my test done as quick as I can. So that I don't have to worry about needing to take a break.
That's in Arizona. So I guess it's Arizona.
Yeah, I was in Arizona for mine too. That's crazy. It can always change. All tests are timed. So, Valerie says, is the test time? Yes, all of them are. No matter what state you're in, you're limited to a certain amount of time. And the time can be different, but on average, you got about 90 seconds per question. I was so more stressed out before the test because they make you show the entire room top to bottom and each proctor is a little different. Yep. I'm not even allowed to mumble talk or use an online calculator. Was told I'd be kicked out. Yeah, you're not allowed to talk at all. I have a question about dwelling. Angela mentioned coverage F, but 80 Banker doesn't have that coverage at all. Kaplan has it as an L. Every state is a little bit different. There's a handful of states that make you learn about L, but L is personal liability. F is medical payments. Everyone should know about medical payments. Oh, not for dwelling though. Dwelling doesn't have, well, dwelling ends at E. There is no F on dwelling, but if they have F on dwelling, it's a endorsement for liability. Okay. Are you allowed to take a bottle of water? No. You could take nothing with you. I talk things out a lot when studying and trying to memorize things. It was rough. Yeah, you're not allowed to talk out loud. Exactly. That's what I thought. Dwelling doesn't have F. Yeah, dwelling doesn't have F, but some states teach about adding F to dwelling as liability, but that's very rare. Most states don't talk about that. All right, let me jump back in here and then we'll do a Q&A. Let me finish out legal purpose and then we'll do a Q&A real quick. All right. All right, legal purpose. Oh, we did legal purpose. Last one, legal purpose is that whatever the contract is for cannot be against public policy. It cannot break the law. So this would be an example of like Joe Exotic, where he hired someone to go murder someone. That is not legal. Murder is not allowed. You're not allowed to kill somebody. So even if you have a contract in place, like I will pay you to go kill this person, that is illegal. That is not okay. So any contract established has to be not against public policy. It cannot break the law. And so these are the 4 elements. You want to memorize all 4. Agreement, known as offer and acceptance. Offer is the customer submitting an app. Acceptance is the insurer issuing the policy. Consideration, both parties must bring value to the other party. Consideration on the side of the insured is app plus premium. Consideration on the side of the insurer is promise to pay. Competent parties, I must be old enough, I must be of sound mind, and I cannot be under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Legal purpose, the policy cannot be against the law. It cannot break public policy. And if I got to remember all 4 of those. Sometimes the test question is, what are the 4 elements of a legal contract? Agreement, consideration, competent parties, legal purpose. Sometimes the question is, all of the following are elements of a legal contract except, and you got to choose the one that's not agreement, consideration, competent parties, or legal purpose. All right, right now, so I will leave it at that. That is contract law. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah. So, there's some more words in there, but we're done for contract law today. What I'll do is I will open the floor up to questions. So you can either drop something in the chat or you can unmute. First come, first serve. And until I gotta go, the baby comes home or something, I will be here for you. So, what are your questions? Let's go. 80 Banker was not helpful in memorization or understanding anything. I vote that they are currently one of the worst. Yes, that's true.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead. Adriana,
Yes.
real quick. Most of you are putting in your state and your exam. The best
Oh.
way to go is go to insuranceexamqueen.com, go to your test, PNC or life and health, and click on recommendations and read the recommendations. That's what I think is most important. All right, go ahead, Adriana.
Okay. I'm from Texas PNC,
Okay.
and then I failed by 7 questions, and I retested and I failed by 10 questions. And I had a question to see if I can have like a one-on-one with Angela. But I was reading, and on the first class, it's just like a study plan. There's nothing like where it's one-on-one like directly.
That one-on-one, so the very first, so what you're talking about is Angela offers a package of usually 4 sessions. The
Mm-hmm.
first one, she talks to you about what's going on. So you're going to go to her, you're going to say, okay, so I studied with so-and-so, I took my test, this was my score, I took my other test, this was my score. She's going to ask you about stuff like, how do you feel when you took the test? What do you think caused you to miss it or whatever? She's going to figure out what it is you need or what's going on. She's going to assess the situation. And then you meet with her again where she starts covering and teaching you the stuff you need to know. So the whole
Oh,
thing
okay.
is a one-on-one with her. You just usually meet with her about 4 times. It's meeting just one time randomly is not nearly as effective as meeting a few times, and for her also to get a feel on the situation.
Oh, okay. All right. That was my question. Thank you.
I also have a quick question. So last time we had dwelling and homeowners, and we didn't have a chance to review the homeowners. Angela did mention that she's gonna send a video recording because there were some technical issues. I did not receive that. I don't know if the people from previous class received it, but I guess maybe she wasn't sending those out.
You can email her because I don't have a copy of her recording, but you can email her at ultimatestudybuddy1@gmail.com.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Let me look at the chat box. Feel free to unmute. First come, first serve. You unmute. I'm answering your question. Is life and health? Wait. Okay. Wait. Okay. Have the gold. Could you provide? Okay. So, Curbia, you said in Georgia there is a high demand on information on CGL auto liability business. Yes and no. In Georgia, they have a chapter that is all property and then all casual, like they have all the property policies and all the casualty policies. It's a mix between homeowners and dwelling and commercial. You can pass that chapter without being super strong in commercial. So most of us will remember the commercial questions after an exam. So like you go take the exam and you leave there and all you remember is the commercial questions. It's because those were the ones that scared you and terrified you the most. So there's other than Alabama, there's hardly a state that you have to actually be really good in commercial. We just remember commercial the most because it terrifies us and scares us. And it's the thing that we remember because it was so scary. But it's not that heavy in Georgia. And so at this time, we're not making any more videos on those commercial topics at this point. We're focused on creating this new curriculum. But for most people, that's more than enough for you to be able to pass the exam. All right. Jonathan, are the presentation slides, the ones that you just saw right now are not yet available to the public anywhere. They are coming. You guys just got a sneak peek. Is life and health harder than PC? No. Life is health is actually the easier exam. It's more simple most of the time. Jennifer, what videos should I watch on your goal? Okay, I'll grab you in just a second. What videos should I watch on your gold package for PNC South Carolina or casualty provisions? The video that says provisions. So there's a video that actually says provisions. Watch that one. All right, Heather, you have your hand raised. Go ahead. Unmute.
Hi, Melissa. I do have a question for you. I am curious if you can help me understand this question. So let me see if I can share this photo. Tell me if you can see it.
Okay.
Uh,
Your screen isn't like you have no video on right now. I don't know how you're going to share it, but
well, it says share and it says photo. Can you see it?
oh, you have to share screen, but I don't know if you have the ability to do that. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Can you hit share screen? You got
It
to.
did. Yep. Yep. It should be
Okay.
sharing. Is it?
No, I don't see anything.
How about
Oh,
there?
here it goes. Here it goes. Okay.
Yay. Okay. So read that question and
Okay.
tell me how D is the answer.
Health insurance policies have a consideration clause, which states that the insurance is provided in consideration of what? Has coverage under his or own policy and under the spouse's policy. The clause states that the insurance is provided in consideration of payment. So I would say this is a bad question.
Okay. So I was super excited because I was like, I got this. And the explanation makes perfect sense, but I cannot understand how they nailed D on this one. In fact, A and D to me look like the same thing.
Yeah, so let me see what give me just a second. Let me see what they probably meant. Health insurance policies have a consideration clause, which states that the insurance is provided in consideration of what? Provided in consideration of payment. Has coverage under his or own, has coverage under two or more, has paid a portion, is covered in full after paying the deductible amount. Yeah, I'm either because, okay, I worked for ExamFX and there were times where we had bad questions. What looks like to me is that this question is with the wrong set of answers, and that this question would have been more about, like, it looks like the question and the explanation go together, but not the set of answer choices. These
Okay.
answer choices would go better if they were talking about, what is it called? Coordination of benefits when you have more than one policy. So
Okay.
I would email this to who is this with? I see the lion. I don't recognize him.
You know what? It was just a random practice quiz that I found on YouTube. So, I mean, I
This
can
is why we got
backtrack
to
it
be
and figure it out.
careful. Oh, we got to be careful with stuff like that. We don't know who write these questions or where they come from. So you got to be careful with stuff like Quizlet and all kinds, because there's no verification of what these answers are. But I would say this question and these answer sets don't even belong together.
Yeah. Okay. Good enough. Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, go ahead, raise your hand or unmute if you guys have a question.
I have a question.
Go ahead, iPhone user.
Could you clarify on family income policies and family maintenance policies?
Yes, so you're taking the life exam, yeah?
Life and health, yeah.
Okay, so let me think. A family is not a commonly tested topic on life insurance, but a family income when you are purchasing, is it life or health that they're asking this on? Let me just do a quick little Google here. 1 second. You said it was a family income policy?
Yeah, and family maintenance.
Family maintenance, yeah. Oh, okay. There's additional add-on to term insurance that pays out a monthly death benefit to replace your income. Okay. All right. So, if my family relies on my income, which is true, right? Like David does not work. He is a hunter and fisher. He does not earn any money from the world. I earn all the money for us. If I were to die and want to make sure that he has income available to him, it's a thing that we can add to the policy that if I were to die, it would just pay him an income. It would just give him money every month to pay the bills. Do you have a specific question around that, or you just need to know what it was?
I'm gonna look for the question.
Yes, if you can find the exact question, that would be helpful, because sometimes I can explain what it is, but unless I see like the question you're looking at, It is a,
Can I also share this question? It's so confusing. I don't know how it would be 60 days.
okay, what is it?
I'm gonna put it on the screen.
Okay, no problem. Sonia, competent parties are, I'm old enough. I'm of sound mind, so I understand what's going on, and I'm not under the influence of drugs and alcohol. So I'm old enough. I know what I'm doing. I'm not on drugs or alcohol. All right. In a disability income policy includes a 30-day elimination period. How long will the insurance company pay benefits if the insured is injured and unable to work for 90 days? Okay, so you don't understand why it's 60?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. So if I am, so what do you think it means when it says 30-day elimination period? What is the elimination period to you? Do you know what that is or no?
The days that they have to wait in order to be accepted for disability income.
Okay, so it is the days that they have to wait, but not, I wouldn't use the word accepted. This is the day, the elimination period is the deductible period. So in a disability policy, I don't have, like, think about, let's go to something we know, like car insurance. I crash my car. In order for them to fix it, I got to pay them $500 or $1,000. You're familiar with that concept? You got to pay a deductible for them to fix the car. Is that familiar to you or no? Can you hear me? You're on mute, so I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I can hear you and I understand.
Okay, so if I crash my car, I want them to fix it. I got to pay them $1,000. Disability income also has a deductible. But if I have a disability income policy, what that's saying is I'm not able to go to work. So if they were to say, we're going to start paying you an income, but before we pay you an income, we need you to pay $1,000, that would be really silly. They don't have the money to pay. So instead of saying you have to pay $1,000 deductible like your car insurance, instead of that, they say you're going to wait 30 days before we send you money. So on a disability income policy, your deductible is a waiting period, and they will not pay you anything during that time. So in this question, it says he was unable to work for 90 days. 30 days were the elimination. So what is 90 minus, if I'm totally disabled for 90 days, and the first 30, they will not pay me at all. So how many days are left for them to pay me? 60. Is basically 90 minus the 30. They will cover me for 60 days. Does this make sense? Do you have any questions?
No, I totally understand now.
Perfect. Yay. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Alyssa, you have your hand raised? Alyssa, do you want to unmute? Alina, do you want to unmute? Right.
Yes.
ahead,
I have
Alina.
a quick question. So I get hired with USAA and I only have 10 days to pass the exam. I mean, I was in an insurance field. It was kind of random that I get hired with USAA. I just wanted to kind of get a foot in the door. So now I have to study for the exam. So what would be your tips? Because I think 10 days is really sounds like not a lot. So what would be your tips as far as what to concentrate on? And
Do you have gold?
I do.
And what state are you in?
Florida.
Okay. Make gold your focus. And
Okay.
I had people passing in less than a week. So my job was to teach people in person for 1 to 2 days and have them passing by Friday. So I'd fly into the company. I would teach Monday and Tuesday. People were passing by Friday. What I would teach in those 2 days, I've put into gold. So if you watch gold, you study gold, you write the notes on gold, you make the charts that I draw on gold, it's putting you in a really great position to pass. The one other thing to focus on besides gold for Florida is going to be the state laws. Who do you have? ExamFX or Kaplan or?
AD Banker. It's the
Okay.
one you don't like.
So don't worry about reading 80 Banker, any of the other chapters for 80 Banker. You should be able to watch the gold videos, take the quizzes and pass. Although 80 Banker has really difficult quiz questions, but the videos should help you get through them. And then the only chapter you really want to focus and read is going to be the Florida law chapters. So you want to watch the gold, read the Florida law, and between that can be enough to help you pass the exam. And I've helped people pass studying in a weekend. So it's more than possible to pass in a 10-day period. Absolutely.
And you think since they do have an internal exam with AD Banker, like I still have to maybe review the book because you said the quiz could be a little bit complicated?
Sometimes, yes. They have 80 Banker has tough questions. They over prepare you with those questions. So some of them may not be explicitly covered in the video, but if you can watch the video before reading 80 Banker, it'll make a lot more sense.
Okay, perfect. And do you have a recommendation as far as quizzes? I know you have your package, right? But maybe anything besides that you can recommend?
Because the Kahoot games that I have are free. There's no one that I would recommend buying or spending money on other than mine. And even then, if you already have 80 Bankers questions, you don't need more questions. You've got plenty. You know what I mean?
All right.
But the Kahoot games are free, available to everybody under the resources tab.
Perfect. And do you find Florida exam hard overall? My last question.
I have a lot of people who pass it. So if you're, all you need is a 70. And if you can focus on gold and what gold says, you can get that 70 and you can pass.
Perfect. Thank you, Melissa.
Yep, you're welcome.
Product.
All right, Kelly?
Like, just a quick question for you. I'm studying for California. What area should I concentrate the most? Because I would like to try to nail this within 2 weeks myself, to be honest with you.
I missed something you said at the beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm studying to take the California PNC.
Okay.
What areas should I concentrate? Because I'm so overwhelmed with the exam FX. It's just so much. And I'm just like, look, and I feel like I have the platinum package and I hadn't got a chance to actually get around to studying how I wanted to because I've been sick. So I may have to actually purchase it again.
Okay. So you guys can see my screen?
Yes.
What do we see? Okay. For everybody sitting here and you go, I'm studying California, I'm studying Alabama, whatever. I've got you. You want to go to, if you're property or casualty, recommendations by Melissa, or life and health, recommendations by Melissa. So you said property casualty. We're going to go to recommendations and we're going to scroll down to California. And I've broken down for you what it is you want to focus on.
That's right. I see this somewhere.
Okay. 31% of your exam is general insurance. Personal lines is 38%. 31%, there is a good chunk of commercial. However, in California, you only need 60% to pass. So you can pass by just these two, which are easier than trying to know commercial. But if you watch gold, especially if you can watch it more than once and you can take all the notes, you're in a very, very good position to pass California. The other thing you can do, let me pull up. If you guys are in the Facebook group, so this is the Insurance Exam Queen Study Group. If you're not in there, you should get in there. Under the files section is every state exam breakdown. So we go to California. Let me put them in ABC order here. California property casualty exam. You click it, which will take you to the post. And then you click the actual document. It's going to download to your computer. And then you open it up. Sometimes it's a Word document. Sometimes it's a PDF. Sometimes it's a document with links on it. But in California, theirs is a little bit intense. But they tell you if you scroll down, so they tell you a little bit about the breakdown, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. If you scroll down, they'll tell you general insurance, 15% will come from basic concepts and principles, contract law, what we just talked about, the insurance marketplace, and tort law. 15% will come from property basics, policy, classes of insurance. And I believe they break it down even further. So you can even break it down further than that. So you say, well, what is basic insurance concepts and principles? Well, it's right here. So if you can like skim through this and like, okay, I know the definition of a peril. Peril is a cause of loss. What is a hazard? Hazard increases the chance of a loss. So if you can scroll through here and you feel good with about 60% of what it says, you're in a great position to pass. Not everyone is intense as California. California has a very intense outline, but this is another way of seeing if you're ready or what's on the test. Okay.
I just need to get a job afterwards. You think that'd be easy?
You just need to what?
And I'm just gonna need to get a job afterwards. You think that'd be easy?
There are lots and lots and lots of jobs available in insurance.
Yes.
And so, I mean, yeah, I think what is meant for you, you'll always find what is meant for you. So I think it's if you have a positive outlook, you're excited about life, you're grateful for life, I think you'll find anything you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also like, one of the things that I do now, like, let me tell you guys, I worked for ExamFX. You guys can go to ExamFX. You can see me on the video. You could see me teaching. At that time, I was making more money than I ever made in all my life, but I was paid to be, you know, like a salaried employee. They paid me like $60,000 a year to do that. And there was a time where they said, make sure you tell us how many people are in class because we're going to charge the customer more. I said, well, how much more am I making? You guys are getting more money for more people. I'm the one teaching them. How much money do I get to make when there's more people? None. You just make your salary. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I should be paid more for what I'm doing. So I started the insurance exam queen business. And now I sell directly to you, commission only. That scares people. I can't
so
work
happy for
commission
you.
only. I need a paycheck. I'm commission only now. We've made over $1 million in 2 years since I've started. So like, and I focus on like my beliefs about money, and I focus on my beliefs about my worth. And that's my whole other channel. I have a channel, Melissa May Dillon, on YouTube, where I talk about money beliefs. I talk about law of attraction. I talk about designing the life that you want to live. And so if you have any interest in those things, go check out Melissa May Dillon on my other YouTube channel.
I'm definitely gonna check it out, because let me tell you, selling life insurance, it is. I come from truck driving of 18, 19 years, so sales is starting to kind of scare me a lot.
Sales is just a conversation. So if you're worried about selling or how to talk to people or anything like that, you want to join Insurance Sales Queen. That's Mary, my best friend. She talks to you about how to talk to people and how to sell policies and how to make it simple and how to make it easy. It's just a conversation. When you're solving people's problems, like I solve your problems and you guys want to pay me. I'm like, you guys are struggling to pass this exam. I'm going to solve that problem. You're like, yes, take my money. Give me the help. Like when you're solving a problem, when you're taking care of people, money flows easily. So the belief that sales is hard makes sales hard. But if you believe that it can be easy, if you believe that you're helping people, if you believe in what you're doing, it's much easier. So that to me is a mindset shift more than like, I don't like people say, oh, the economy sucks. Nobody can make money. Really? Because I just made $1 million in 2 years. Like whatever belief you have is what the evidence you're going to see in the world, but you can change your beliefs. I used to believe that I would always be a poor teacher because teachers are never paid good money. But when I decided to own my time and my talents and teach and be who I wanted to be, I made more money in my life than I ever made before. So you just have to switch your beliefs about money. What you believe to be true will be true. So if you believe it's hard, it'll be hard. If you believe it's easy, it'll be easy. It's that simple. The hardest part is changing your belief, rewiring your brain to think this is hard to this is easy. I have to tell myself, Money flows to me all the time. Money is easily available. Money wants to come to me. I literally repeat new beliefs in my mind all the time. I'm a broken record. The same way that I go, agreement is known as offer and acceptance. I go, money loves me. Money loves me. Money loves me. Money loves me. Like I repeat that stuff to myself. All right, but I'm not going to try to make this a preachy thing because I love to preach about this. But all right.
Oh, we have a question. Do we need to raise our hand?
I don't know. You're talking to me now. Go ahead. Keep talking.
This is Octavia. Hey, Melissa.
Hi, Octavia.
I didn't want to jump anywhere. I see a couple of people in the chat with their hands up. So should I raise my hand?
Go ahead. You're already talking. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay, so like once we, like I have a couple of questions. Once I become, and I pass and stuff like that, as far as doing insurance in other states, like I can work for more than one company, correct?
It depends on if you sign a contract that says you can only work for them, you can only work for them. But if you're free and clear, then yes, you could. You could be a broker where you sell for multiple companies. Yeah.
But when you're a broker, you have to go out and find the customers yourself, right?
It depends on the system. There's so many millions of systems you can sign up for. I'm not on that side of things. But but there's Charmaine that teaches you the life insurance side. Mary can help you with the other stuff. I'm not fully versed on after exam world.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. Adriana, do you have another question?
Yes. Do you mind if I send you my score sheet through the chat, because I test tomorrow and I just wanted to go over some videos before my test.
Can you share it on the screen right now? Are you able to do that? Because honestly, emailing me, no. I
was gonna put it through the through the, what is it called?
You could put it in the chat. If you could put it in the chat, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys have 1,000 comments. Okay. I might be able to get through all this or not. I will help you as long as I'm here.
I don't think nobody will get my information and they can't do anything with it, right?
If you can crop it and only put the points, that's one way of protecting yourself. All right, let me scroll through some of these comments. Let me see if I can.
Can I ask a question while she's doing that?
Go ahead.
So I got the Go and the Adjusters package. So I just want to ask, can I just pass like off this, looking at that? I passed with my person's line with just your thing.
But I am not versed in adjusting very well, but I know that people who use gold are way more likely to pass than people who don't use gold. And if you use gold on repeat, you're in even a better position of being able to pass. On terms of the adjusters, I can't really speak to that. That's more of an Angela question. But gold definitely is the fastest, easiest way of passing, yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I got the gold plus the adjusters thing or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put that on repeat.
Watch them all of the videos are going to help you. Watch them all on repeat.
Okay.
And then maybe double back on the adjusters content, because I don't cover any. Angela covers that. I don't.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. Were you able to get it in the, okay. I see it loading. All right. Oh, here it is. All right. I'm going to share this on the screen too, so everybody can, because this actually looks like a lot of people's score sheet. So let me, scene 3? No, 2.
Trust me, I started in the 50s. I'm surprised I'm in the 60s.
That's good. That's good. You're in the 60s. Okay. All right. So if your score sheet looks like this, a lot of you have a score sheet that looks like this. If you're a Pearson, if you take your test through Pearson, your score sheet's going to look like this. The thing is like these lines, can I write on this? All right, hang on one second. Can I mark up? Okay. These lines are not equal. Like types of property policies is like maybe 20, 30 questions, where like pertinent to property is only like 10 questions.
I knew it.
Comparable. So based on what I know to be true and knowing about the Texas breakdown, the chapters I would focus on for you would be these ones. and these ones, which you notice are actually the same. One of these is, this is property based. This one is casualty based. But if you watch, this is going to be like the first 3 or 4 videos in gold. So if you can watch those on repeat, and then also any policy structure video, that's where I would be. Do you have gold?
Yes, policy structure.
Yes, any video labeled policy structure,
Okay.
and any video labeled policy provision and contract law, and any video labeled general insurance.
Policy provision and contract. No. And what was the last one you said?
General insurance.
Oh.
I think it's like the first 3 or 4 videos in gold that you want to focus on repeat, and then any video called policy structure. There's policy structure videos under homeowners, and then there's policy structure under auto. You want to watch both of those.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yep. And then there is a video on the YouTube channel that breaks down the Texas outline. So if you go Insurance Exam Queen, Texas, Property and Casualty, there should pop up a video that you can watch that will break down the Texas outline for you.
This is the thing. I don't know English 100%, and I don't know Spanish 100%. Since I live in the border, it's more like Tex-Mex. So that's where I think I'm struggling, that they use the 100% English, like the correct way it's supposed to be. Like you have to, the correct way you're supposed to speak it and write it. And since I don't know it, that's where I think I'm struggling.
Okay. I have helped many people in many different, there is a Google review that I had on my page, and you can read it and you're like, this person does not know English, but he passed the exam. So I have helped many, many people with different languages be able to pass. So if you heavily rely on gold, we will get you there. Especially for Texas, because gold is perfect for Texas. So just have the belief. Melissa gave me the knowledge. This is what I want you to do. I want you to add in not only watching gold, but I want you to add in some energetic woo-woo stuff. And what I mean by that is Melissa has given me all the knowledge I need. I know that when I literally want you to say this to yourself. When I
You're
sit
gonna make
down
me cry.
when I sit down,
Girl, I'm going through a lot right now.
When I sit down to take the test, I know that all the knowledge I need to pass this test is going to show up. I know that when I click A is the right answer. I don't even have to read the question. I'm going to pass this exam. I got everything I need. I know that I am passing this exam. I know that I am picking the right answer. I know that even though I don't know that word, that I know that this is the answer to the question. When you just have this belief in your body, when you just say this stuff to yourself, it brings in the energy to pull out the past. We are energetic beings more than we are physical beings, but we only ever taught about the physical world. So when you just have this energy, I'm going to pass, I got this. I know the knowledge is in my brain. It don't matter that I don't know English. All that matters is I got the heart and I'm ready and I've watched gold and I've got this. I'm going to secure this pass. When you've got that energy in your body, it really helps. So try that. Right on. I taught in Arizona, which is a large Hispanic population. Almost all my students were Hispanic, and they had the English, they knew enough English to talk. They were always a translator for their parents, but they grew up only with Spanish at home, and they were this mix. And that's what I taught. So when I teach in gold, all my experience and the way that I break things down and the way that I say things, if you might not know what they're asking, but you remember agreement is known as offer and acceptance. You see the word agreement in the question, you see offer and acceptance in an answer choice. Boom, I know to pick that. I don't even have to understand the question. I know that agreement is in the question. Offer and acceptance is an answer choice. Boom, I'm gonna pick that. It gets to be that simple. Okay. Watch her video for beginning to study. It made me cry. Yes. If you a cry of excitement, I hope. There's that's the other thing too, is I have an about to test audio on the YouTube channel. If you listen to that, it just helps get you excited and gets you in the mindset of being able to pass. All right. All right. Valerie, you got your hand raised? Valerie, can you unmute?
Yeah, just have a question about the Arizona PNC. I just realized today that not all of the tests are created equal. Some of them are 60%, some of them are 70, some of them are 80. Can you tell me?
What do you mean by that?
So you said California earlier is 60% to pass.
Yeah.
So Arizona would be different then? I didn't
Arizona's
realize it.
70%. You need a 70% out of 150 questions to pass.
Okay, I just got on your website and I wanted to make sure that I'm looking in the right area, the Arizona where you said the recommendations.
Mhm.
And then there was a place that had percentages of each of the chapter breakdown.
Yes.
So
So
can you
that's
show me
saying,
where to find that?
yeah, so it's in the Facebook group. So if
Okay.
you, let me share my screen again. So this works for everybody, by the way. Screen number 2, share. So if you go to files, so you're in the Facebook group. If you're on your phone, you have to kind of scroll to see the files section. But if you click on Arizona, so let's do Arizona. You said property and casualty, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to pull that file up, download to the computer, open it up. Okay, so this, you have 150 questions. 5% of them are going to come from insurance regulations. So this, until you see this gray bar again, so this all the way, this makes up 5% of your exam, what's in blue. So this is not a very important chapter in Arizona. So this is like, the things you would want to know is like, how many hours of continuing education do I need? Arizona loves to ask the question, when are you allowed to call people on the do not call, like the do not call list is like 8 to 9. You cannot call anyone earlier than 8 a.m. You cannot call anyone after 9 p.m., 8 to 9. And then like misrepresentation, rebating, stuff like that, that'll come from that chapter. And then 5% of your exam is general insurance. What is risk? What is a hazard? What is a peril? What is elements of an insurable risk? All the stuff we cover in the gold video. We just talked about elements of a legal contract. That's part of the 5% for you. 14% is on PNC basics. That's, you know, again, hazards. What is negligence? We talk about vicarious liability. Joe Exotic is absolute liability. So this is all covered in the gold. 15% of your exam is just on homeowners. 9% is just on dwelling. 13% is on auto. And it tells you the topics under each one. So gold is perfect for Arizona property and casualty. We cover all this stuff. So you can see
Question. Sorry, I just want to make sure it's the Insurance Exams Queen study support group. Is that the one?
Yep, I'll share the link with you right now in the chat box.
Okay, I see it. I guess I added the wrong Facebook group, so that's why I couldn't find it.
That's okay. We also have the Insurance Sales Queen, but that's run by Mary.
That's the one I was in.
Yeah, she doesn't help with exam stuff. So there's Exam Queen and then Sales Queen. You want the Exam Queen.
Got it.
And then you got to make sure you answer all the questions correctly. The secret word is zoo, Z-O-O.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep. All right. What else? Who else we got? I can't see my screen. Somebody just start talking. Who's got their hand raised? Cassandra?
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm doing the Florida property and casualty exam, and I'm doing Kaplan. So for Florida, I have to pass the mastery exam with Kaplan in order to take the regular exam. Do you feel like it's pretty equivalent to the actual state exam, or is it a lot harder? And how is their Florida section, do you think, on the course?
Most providers, Kaplan, Excel, 80 Banker, are going to be a little bit harder than the actual state exam. They try to over prepare you. None of them are really dead on to the actual exam itself. I like Excel the most for their questions, but still none of them are perfect. I would say what you see on Kaplan plus my Kahoot questions are probably the closest alignment to the actual exam itself.
Okay. Thank you.
but never study questions. Like, don't get so comfortable with the question that you memorize the answer, because that's not, none of them really have exact questions on the practice to the state. They're not allowed to. If any of them get questions that are too similar to the state, they get in trouble. They get shut down. So they can't be that similar. They're not allowed to.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Cecilia.
Cecile. Hi,
Cecile,
Melissa. Hey, got a quick question. In 2021, when I took my life and health in Arizona, there were 150 questions, but what threw me in the loop is they had 10 questions. I forgot what they called them. They were like
pre-test.
No, actually they weren't pre-test. They were mixed in with 150 questions. So in total had 160. Although those 10 are not they don't grade you for it.
Yeah.
But they have a term for that. Do they still do that? Do you know?
Yeah, they call them pre-test, which is weird because they're not before the test. They're mixed in. So there's a handful of states that give you extra questions. And you don't know which ones they are. They're all in there. All that it means is that you need to treat every question like a test question and answer it to the best of your ability, and that's it. But there will be 10 questions that won't count for you or against you.
Right. Yeah, I just asked just to prepare myself because I'm testing soon. Thank you.
So if you have more than, like, if you read the outline, it says 150, but you take the test and you're taking 160, you just know that 10 of them don't count for you or against you.
Right. Thank you.
Yep. All right. I think Cassandra, I already answered your question. Okay. So if at any point, feel free to just ask a question if you got. I'm going to scroll through the chat, but at any point, anyone can unmute. No problem.
I'm sorry. I forgot to ask a question.
Go ahead, Valerie.
How long do we have to take the test? Does it depend on your state? I'm in Arizona.
Yes. Every state has a time limit. It's usually around 60 to 90 seconds per question is what you basically get.
And then can you skip the questions, or like if you go over and you didn't answer it or you wanted to change your answer, or is it too late and you just move on to the next question?
So every test has an option of, like, first of all, answer every question. Even if you're guessing, put in an answer. Never leave it blank. Because if you do end up getting to the point where you run out of time, all those blank ones will be wrong no matter what. But if you put in an option, you at least have a 25% chance of getting correct, right? So never leave a blank question. Pick an answer, even if you don't know it's right or wrong. But I would say energetically, you trust that it's the right one. But what you can do, there's this little option that'll allow you to mark for review. And what that will allow you to do is to quickly jump back to it. Because if you don't mark for, so let's say you're like, oh my God, question number 5. I don't know question number 5. I'm not confident on this one. If you don't mark for review and you end up having extra time later, in order to go back to number 5, you'd have to go like back, all the way to number 5. But if you mark for review, it allows you just to jump to it. So if there's ever a question where you're not 100% on, or you're just like, I want to come back to this later, pick an answer no matter what. Pick the one you think kind of, maybe, sort of, just choose it, mark for review. And then if you have time, you can come back. Now, I generally don't recommend going back. It only really works for like a handful of people. Most people who go back end up changing too many answers, and they overanalyze and they overthink, and then they fail. I had a girl in Florida. It was a United Healthcare class. She was 90% every practice question, minimum. Like, she had the best scores I had ever seen on her practice exams. And I told her employers, I was like, she's going to be a first-time pass. She came out with a 68. I talked to her about it. I said, what happened? She goes, I went back and I changed 10 answers. I was like, oh my God. If you had changed nothing, you would have passed. She went back and again, never changed a thing. She got an 86. So I with all the caution in the world, Be careful about going back, but you can mark for review, jump back to questions and check them. So just be cautious about that. I don't want, the worst thing is getting trapped in overanalyzation and overthinking and stressing yourself out and changing answers. Do you have any other questions with that? Does that
Yeah,
help?
that's super helpful. What I was trying to like build a picture for is it's like, would you say it's like an hour and a half or like an hour and a half or 2 hours? It's 150 questions, like
I don't
overall.
know. We just looked at it. What was it?
If
Arizona.
it's in there, I'll go look again.
2.5 hours in
2.5
Arizona.
hours.
Say that again. Sorry.
2.5 hours.
Got it. Thank you so much.
All right. Anyone else?
I have a question for you. Where can I go on my profile to see how many days I have left to look at the material?
It doesn't exactly tell you, but it's 100 days from the date you purchased it, which is about 3.5 months.
Do we pay a whole new fee to purchase it again, or is there like an extended fee?
We have recently started sending out emails that gives you a discount, but you have to renew quickly in order to get that discount. So when you get close, you will get an email. Now we're starting to do that. That will allow you to rebook it with a discount. Okay. All right. If anyone has a question, just speak up. If not, I'm going to scroll through the chat. You guys have so many questions here in the chat.
So you only have 120 days to finish, and then I have to redo it?
Gold is 100 days.
Oh, it's 100 days?
100.
About platinum.
Okay.
Platinum is 100.
Oh, everything is 100. Okay.
Yeah. Everything's 100. Oh
So
my
what
God.
do you know about the Oklahoma property casualty exam?
That it's an easier breakdown because it's a more of a Pearson breakdown. You may be with PSI, but it's more of a Pearson breakdown.
PSI.
Okay, but it's a Pearson based exam. PSI copies, they either mimic Pearson or Prometric.
Gotcha.
But it's going to be simple the way they break down their chapters. I think I don't if you look at my recommendations, I'll tell you in there. I don't have all of them committed to memory. But I know gold is good for Oklahoma. I mean, they're all good for Oklahoma.
I have gold. Yes.
Watch it on repeat. Study the state laws out of your state approved course, and you should be good.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, anyone else?
How do we know if we're ready to take the test?
I actually encourage people to set a test date for no more than 2 weeks from when you start studying. And because Elon Musk says it'll take as much time as you give it. So if you don't have an end date in mind, you could study for months before you come close to wanting to study. Some of you have an employer who says you're testing by this date. But however much time you give yourself is how much time it's going to take for you to study. So at a minimum, I think 2 weeks is good. Some people don't feel comfortable unless they've had 2 months. The average is 2 to 4 weeks of self-study. If you have gold, you're much closer to 2 weeks as opposed to 4 weeks. But generally speaking, when you're scoring around 70 to 80% on your practice exams, you're in a good spot. But if you're scoring 70 to 80 because you've taken them 20 million times, you've remembered the answers, that's not the same.
I did a practice on a Kaplan. They have a state, like it has you like, it looks like the test, right? It's not the real test, but it looks like the test. It's supposed to.
Simulator.
And right. And I scored a 79, I think.
Perfect.
I just don't know how close it is to the real thing.
It's usually harder. So if you got a 79, your 70 is passing. So if you got anything over 70, you're in a great position.
Yeah, I did the online virtual classes with Kaplan last week. And then I also did them all on my own beforehand. So I've gone through the book twice. And then I signed up for your class, and I'm a little over halfway done with the gold.
Schedule the test for like how many days do you have to study? Or how many hours each day do you have to study? Like when will you finish gold?
I scheduled my test for June the 3rd. So, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time. I try to do some at work, but it gets pretty busy. But I
Okay, so
mostly do it at home.
Do as much
Yeah.
as you can to gold. Try to finish at least gold. And based on everything, you've taken multiple classes, you've read the book, you've gone through gold. I think you're in a really great spot.
Okay. Yeah, I did really well on your Kahoot game. That was fun.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Just trust yourself.
Right.
We're so fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Trust yourself.
Right. Yes, I'm gonna go in. I'm excited. I'm excited to pass the test.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's the vibe. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Melissa, I have a question. Could you please tell more about pro rata? I know the formula, but just in a few words, where exactly do we need to use that formula?
Remind me, are you PC or life health?
PC.
So pro rata is when, because I can have more than one policy on my homeowners. So let's say I decide to buy an all-state policy on my house and a State Farm policy on my house. But does that mean if the house burns down, Allstate will give me, let's say my homeowners is for 400,000. Am I going to get 400 plus 400 and get a total of 800? Woohoo, I can build a double size house? No.
No.
Okay. Pro rata says each of them needs to pay a fair share of the claim. So pro rata is just a math equation, figuring out who's going to pay what based on who's covering what, essentially. So there is a YouTube video and a gold video that covers pro rata and shows you the equation. But basically you take the company you're looking for and you divide that by both the companies added together.
Okay, perfect. I was confused. I was thinking there are 3 companies. So I was like, where's the third company?
Sometimes there
comes
is 3
in? There are
companies.
2. Oh, there's 3 companies.
It depends. Sometimes there's 2, 3, 4, 5.
I see. Okay, but it all okay. Okay, I got it now. I got it. It doesn't have to be 3 companies. It could be 2.
Could be. It's more than one.
Okay.
Anything more than one. So
okay.
If there's more than one, all you do is you take the one you're looking for on top, divide it by all of them added together, whether that's 2, 3, 4, all of them added together, times that by the loss, and that will equal the payout of the company on top.
Okay, perfect. Okay, makes sense. Because I got lost with the third company. I'm like, why is there's 3? But yeah, I guess that all makes sense.
Yep,
Thank you.
problem. Yep.
I got a question. Seems like the gold package is really a strong opportunity there. What makes it different from like the exam FX, the Excel?
Me?
What makes it different from that? I'm just trying to.
The video. Okay, so Excel's videos are an actor reading a script. They're not actually teaching you anything. They're just reading a PowerPoint. It's not actual learning. ExamFX videos are a little bit more learning, but they're more summarized. It's kind of focused on a PowerPoint, and it's a very simple video. My videos are longer, in-depth. I'm teaching you, giving you multiple examples. People ask me questions, so then I give you even another example. So it's like real life examples without following a script or a PowerPoint. That's the biggest difference, I would say.
All right. Yeah. So it's like more simpler terms. You go more in depth with your videos.
Yeah.
And especially like
and memorization techniques.
Yeah.
So I will give you little sentences, little things to say, little memory tricks. Like liable is things that are written. Liable library, it's written down. Slander is spoken. Slander, I speak it. So I just add in a bunch of little memory tricks to embed it into your mind.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. And then the feedback I get for a lot of the other videos or live lessons are that the instructor is basically just reading the book. They're not really teaching you anything.
Are all the test questions multiple choice?
Yes. Best choice out of 4.
So Melissa?
Yep.
So I'm in Vermont and I'm with ExamFX, and you're exactly right about how it's just like a full script. But I mean, the ones at the end of the chapter, those are more helpful than the little automated videos.
Yep.
But my question is for the life of me, I cannot pass the the chapter on like ships and large boats. And honestly, I'm in Vermont. Like, we don't have big bodies of water. Like,
Yeah.
we can swim across the bodies of water in Vermont. So is that going to be like super important on the actual exam?
No, I don't. North Carolina is big on boats. Michigan's big on boats. I've never heard about Vermont necessarily being big on boats, but you can pull up, if you go to the Facebook group and you go to the files section and you pull up Vermont, you can literally see how many questions will come from that chapter. But at a minimum for some, so when you're at a chapter like that you can't move past, that's the one time I would recommend taking the quiz until you memorize the right answers, even if it requires writing them down, so you could just move past it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm allowed to move past it. It's irritating as heck.
I would say that's not a big chapter. They recently changed their platform, and I am completely unfamiliar with their new platform. So, but they, as far as I know, they never had a separate section for boats, so that's crazy.
Oh, they do now.
Yeah, I had no involvement in their new platform. They were beginning to talk about switching platforms when I left. So
Okay, thank you.
I don't know anything about their new platform. All right, I'm just getting, again, just say some if you want. Otherwise, I'm reading comments here, but I can't even find the last comments, okay, that I was at. Commercial heavy in Arizona, no. I've watched YouTube, but haven't seen anything for Vermont. All my YouTube videos work for all states. So if it's a homeowner's video on YouTube, auto video, disability video, all the videos work for all states.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
And the gold package, 100 days access, correct?
Yes.
All right. So
From the date of purchase.
I'm sorry.
From the date of purchase. So if you purchase
From the date
it
of purchase,
today,
okay.
100 days from now.
Got it. So, I'm expected to pass within that time frame. But should there be like a chance of renewal, you're paying another, like the same, the same price over.
Right now, we've started sending out emails when you're close or at expiration to give you a discount, but it's for a limited time.
Okay. Got it. And another question I had, so with the property and casualty, I got the life license, and then I also want to do the health. Like, is there some kind of like brokerage opportunity? You know how you have like like the captive, and then you got the independent. So like for the property and casualty, I don't know too much about like brokerage opportunities. I mean, is that out there?
Definitely. I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities. That's not my expertise, but there's like any way that you can imagine working in insurance is available.
Got it.
Like there's even like one of the things Mary does right now is she brings in leads and she'll talk to people and gather their info and then give it to someone else to quote and issue a policy. Like anything that you enjoy doing, any potential availability is available.
Okay. So you have like individuals that can, lead me in that direction, like learning how to engage and saying like the sales opportunity for life, or if I want to learn how to sell property and casualty, maybe build my own book of business, you have like plugs for that, right?
I have Charmaine who does life insurance, and I believe she uses Symmetry. And then I don't have anyone directly with PNC right now.
Okay.
But I mean, you're welcome to post in the group and ask if anyone has an opportunity. I know there's definitely recruiters hanging out in my group.
Okay.
But you just want to, you want to do your homework and ask them a lot of questions and make sure you don't get stuck in something you don't want to do.
Right. Thank you.
Kelly?
I was just saying, I like Symmetry too. Symmetry is a pretty good company.
Yeah, I with every company has pros and cons. I've heard some awful things. I've heard some great things. I think at the end of the day, it's how you do it.
Like you said, it's the mindset.
Yeah. Charmaine loves it. I love Charmaine. So I allow her to be on my platform because her and I are friends. and I know what kind of person she and Jeff are. We worked together. And so she teaches class every 2 weeks on doing your own life insurance agency. You can choose to sign up with her or not. There's no requirement or pressure or anything like that. And she uses Symmetry and she likes it. So great.
I've taken the test a couple of times in the state of Washington. Is there anything you think I should study more on? I know it's on my test scores, it's kind of Washington laws, but I'm
It's
just
very
not getting
hard.
there.
It's very hard to score over 25 points on Washington law. So if you're getting 25 points or more on that chapter, then that's probably you're hitting your max for that. So then the next thing you want to do is like Washington shows you like your score versus the max score. So what you want to do is do the math between those two and then circle the ones that have the most points available and then make those your focus of study.
Okay, because my last one on my Washington laws, you get 45 and I got 27 out of the 45.
You're probably getting as close as you can for that one. So then
Okay.
I would go after I would go after the easier general insurance is usually easier. PNC basics is usually easier. Dwelling home and auto. If you can tackle those, get as many points as you can from those chapters, it helps you out.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Melissa. Can you please go over the pro rata information that you just spoke about?
Yeah, so the pro rata is when I have more than one policy on one building. So I have one building and I've got 2, 3, or 4 different policies on it. Pro rata is the math equation to figure out how much will each policy pay. There's a YouTube video for free for everybody. So if you do Insurance Exam Queen Pro Rata, you can watch the YouTube video and I actually break down the math equation for you and give you a couple examples. There's also a Pro Rata. If you go to the resources tab on the website, there's also a Pro Rata notes document and you can read and you could see a picture of the equation.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep. Okay. I'll try to jump in the comments here, but feel free to say anything. Split up. I feel like I've been testing. Kaylee, I don't know if you're here still, but with the property and casualty, so she's taking property and casualty and they make her take them separate. Most of the information is the same. So if you, the double dippers are going to be things like general insurance, policy provision, contract law, common state law. So if you can double dip on those, it's going to help you out. I might just scroll to the bottom of the chat. All right, go ahead. Next question. What was that?
So how many how many hours a day would you recommend like plugging in and like studying until you actually take the exam?
I mean, it's as much as you can. I was able when I mostly worked for people who were hired for an insurance company and they sat in front of me for 8 hours to learn the material Monday, Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, and pass by Friday. So I know that's a lot for a lot of people to just sit there for 8 hours. But if you treat it like school, like if you treat it like a college class and just go at it, for most people that can be productive. Some people got to take breaks. What you don't want to do is stress and overwhelm yourself. So it's you got to kind of find your flow. But it can be condensed and done super quickly.
Sometimes when I'm going to bed at night, I'll put on one of your podcasts. So that's another recommendation is like, especially if you have a hard time falling asleep, just listen to one of your podcasts.
Yeah. And by the way, if anyone's like, what the heck podcast? YouTube and podcast, same thing. It's the same stuff. It's just one has video and one is audio.
What makes Florida a 200-hour course versus every other state 40?
Somebody in Florida wants to make more money. It's just laws. It's just it's not that it's a 200-hour course. It's that they, in order, like if I want to sell a course in Florida, like state approved course, I would have to say that it would take 200 hours to get through it and study it, but it doesn't actually necessarily take you 200. No one's counting the clock in Florida. It's just that some lawmaker somewhere said it needs to be 200 hours. So then they said, okay, it's 200 hours. And then like when I remember working at ExamFX, they had to like try to justify, like, I'll tell you, the ExamFX Florida course looks no different than the 40-hour Texas course, but they wrote a paper that made it sound like it would take you 200 hours.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, because like your gold
Yes,
course for
yes.
everybody is the same, and then Kaplan, it seems pretty much the same. So
It
I'm
is.
like, is it just having to read this Florida book? What is the extra hours? Where is that coming from?
It's just that Florida says it would take 200 hours and then. So yeah, it's not much different. If you were to buy Florida PC ExamFX and Texas PC ExamFX, it's gonna be the same thing other than state law.
Gotcha.
Where do we find
Thank
the
you.
state law portion? Oh, sorry. Where do
Go
we
ahead,
find
Kim.
where do we find the state law portion?
So it's usually the last couple of chapters of your state approved course.
Oh, you see, that's how much I haven't been involved in it. My bad. That was common sense.
No, okay. What state are you in, Kelly?
California.
Oh, California kind of embeds it inside their chapters. They don't actually have a separate state law chapter. That's why.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I thank you for your help, Melissa. I really
you're so welcome.
Motivation. That helped a lot. I needed to hear it again.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Hi, Melissa. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I have one of the tests on the exam. It's saying like somebody has a home insurance and they went to play skiing and he hit his friend. Is the medical insurance covered that friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can use MedPay or you can use liability. You can use either one.
The question, it was under MedPay. Is that
yes,
covered by
both
the
would work. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know, like, it's only on the premises, like, to be able to cover.
No, it's not. It's not restricted to the premise.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep. It is restricted to the United States, but it's not restricted to the premise.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. You guys have so many comments. The podcast, yes. Please, like 40 hours of video. You can go at your own pace. Yes. Thank you for everything. Yes. Oh my gosh. PC, life and health is easier than property and casualty. Will this be recorded? I'm gonna put this recording on YouTube so everybody can have it. As soon as we're done, it'll convert and then I've got to upload it. So probably within the next, like, well, if the David comes home with the baby or whatever, I don't know, but I'm gonna get it up there for you guys. Sliding, Joy, you asked, what does sliding mean? Sliding is, and this is not, most states don't ask about sliding, by the way, but sliding is like, so let's say I'm selling you a homeowner's policy. An earthquake is extra. Like you have to choose to buy it and pay an additional premium. But if I tell you earthquake is required and you have to have it, I'm sliding up like I'm trying to make, the reason I would do that as an agent is because the more coverage you have, the bigger the premium. And I want to make commission on it. So I'm going to convince you that you need to have, that these coverages are required and that you have to have them. And that's why your premium is so much, so that I can make a bigger commission. You're not allowed to do that. So basically what it's saying, you're supposed to say, earthquake is extra. You can choose to have it or not. If you choose it, it'll increase your premium this much. Sliding would be like, it's required, you have to have it. That would be sliding. What we talked about Washington State already. I'm just kind of blanket policy covering multiple policies that are the same. Think of apartment. Oh, you might be, I think you're answering a question to someone. I have percentages. Okay, I'm just trying to see if there's any questions in there. Oh, Stephanie, I'm so happy for you. It's like offering coffee. I like when you said it's like offering coffee. Some say yes, thank you. Some say no, but you don't take offense to their no when it's coffee. Don't take offense to someone no thanks to some insurance. I don't think I said that. Mary might have said that, but that sounds amazing. Yeah, don't be offended. That's the thing is like when you start selling, people are going to say no. Don't take it as a personal rejection. Just, okay, no problem. I'm going to get the next guy. Like, it's all good. How do you feel about the Kaplan, Florida section? Should I focus on gold? So in gold, and actually bronze, silver, or gold, I have a state regulations video that works in every state. It's not everything you need, but it'll tell you the major things to know, like know about the Department of Insurance, know about the rules for licensing, know about how many CE hours you need, know about the unfair practices like misrepresentation, stuff like that. If you focus on what I tell you in that video and then find the numbers of what I tell you to find, that is for most people all they need for state law. But you have to find the numbers yourself. Like when I tell you, you need to know how many continuing education hours for your state, you need to go find your state number and then remember that number, and then you're good. You built this empire in 2 years. Yes, I did. Insurance companies will banging on your door. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Michelle says that so on ExamFX, she would copy and paste the words, put them on a Word document, and then there's a button where you can read aloud. Yes, there's also online software that if they don't already have that in their new system where it will read it aloud to you, there are Chrome extensions and things that you can buy that will read screen to text. So if you want someone to read the text, that can help a lot of people having it being read to you. You're not seeing South Dakota. You should see it on there. All right, I'm going back to questions that are 45 minutes old at this point. So I don't even know if some of you are around. All right, any final questions? Because it's been a little quiet. Any final
I got
questions?
a question.
Go ahead.
The PIGA, so that covers claims. Can you explain that? I know that the maximum losses is it's $300,000 for the maximum, and then
I don't know what you're saying when you say PIGA. What is that?
so this one, that's something I was reading. When you let's say if you have a coverage on your home.
Oh, Pennsylvania Insurance Guarantee Association?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So every state has an insurance guarantee association. So what I'm about to say will help everybody. The state itself has an association, the Insurance Guarantee Association. Association means a membership. And the members of the Insurance Guarantee Association are all the insurance companies that sell in that state. So in order to be an insurance company that is allowed to sell in a state, you have to become a member of the Insurance Guarantee Association. As a member of the association, you pay money to be a member. That money is collected and saved. And then if any one of the insurance companies, aka any one of the members, ever struggles with being able to pay a claim because they ran out of money, like let's say you buy your homeowners through Allstate and Allstate runs out of money because everyone filed a claim all at the same time. And they're like, we can't pay the homeowners claims. Yeah, Allstate would go to the Insurance Guarantee Association and the Insurance Guarantee Association would help pay the claims. So the Insurance Guarantee Association is a insurance for insurance. It's the backup to the insurance policy. So if ever a member of the association, aka one of the insurance companies, runs out of money and they cannot pay their claims, the association will come in and pay the claim for them. So it's a way of protecting the public, protecting the people who buy the insurance policies. Well, it's technically protecting the insurance companies. So what you're asking is usually the Guarantee Association is going to have a limit. They can't cover every claim possible. They still have to set a limit. So they'll be like, we can pay no more than $300,000 per person, no matter how many claims they end up filing. So every state's number is a little bit different, but 300,000 and 500,000 are the most common numbers that I have seen related to the Guarantee Association.
Got you. And then the maximum return of unearned premium, that's at about like $10,000 for what I read.
I don't know. I don't know Pennsylvania's numbers.
Oh, it's different for each state. Okay,
Yeah.
got you. Okay.
But what that means is, like, let's say I bought Allstate for the entire year. Like I paid like they said, your annual premium is $5,000 for my homeowners. I pay it all. But the very first couple of months, they run out of money and they can't pay my claims. They would have to refund the premium, but they ran out of money, so they can't refund it. So then the Guarantee Association would refund my premium.
Got you. All right. It makes sense.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Anyone else? You're welcome. What is the error has occurred? I don't know what that was for. Michelle, you posted a picture. Oh, that was for your Prometric, I think.
Yeah, that's what I keep getting for Prometric. So that's why I
Okay.
was wondering if the site was down.
Have you refreshed your browser, cleared your cookies?
Oh yeah. And then I lost all my passwords on my computer.
Have you tried a different device?
Yeah, I tried it through my phone as well.
Okay.
And my work computer.
Okay, so then I would try and call them.
Yeah, I will. I didn't know if anybody knew if they had heard that it was down or.
It shouldn't be that long for a whole week. I think it's probably something related to your end as opposed to their end.
Okay.
You may have a high security setting that like keeps kicking it out. It could be your internet provider. Maybe try Wi-Fi somewhere else.
Okay.
But I would also just call. You can also call and get your test scheduled too, I believe.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyone else? All right. I'm going to call it a day. All right. I love you all. I'm sending you all the loves, all the vibes to pass the exam. I will get this video uploaded to YouTube as quickly as I can. And I will be live again on YouTube Tuesday. So next week, Tuesday at 5 p.m. I try to go live every 5 p.m. on Tuesday and Wednesday of every week. Most every Tuesday, Wednesday, there are things that happen, something here and there, but most every Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm live on the YouTube. So if you have any more questions, come and join me then. And I love you all so much. Have an amazing day. All the loves and vibes. Believe that you're passing. Believe that I'm in your head giving you the answers. Have really good energy as you're choosing your answers. And you guys got this. I love you all so much. Have a good night.